Heater repair near me. If your heater's not working, it definitely needs to be taken care of because it could be just a heater problem, but it could be indicative of other problems as well. So we definitely need to understand how the heater works so that you understand what I mean. The heater is controlled by your coolant, your antifreeze. Okay. So the antifreeze, the coolant, same thing, sits in your engine and your radiator and your heater core and stuff. Okay. It just sits there. And then you start the motor and the water that's in your motor in your engine starts to heat up and your thermostat actually opens at 180, 190, 200, 210 degrees, whatever your motor is designed for. And the water that's in your engine, since the thermostat is a heat spring steel, it will open it. And once it's opened, then the water transfers from your radiator into your motor and from your motor into your radiator. And then the radiator cools the hot water off because it's got really thin lines going through it, and it allows the water to come through, the air to come through and cool the water down. And you have a radiator fan and stuff that makes it to where that cools the radiator. And the engine is now, the thermostat closes because it got cooled off, and the engine water starts heating up again. The radiator water is cooling off, and then it just keeps flipping that. And that's how the engine stays cool. One of the ways. Oil definitely helps cool it as well. Definitely because it reduces the friction and stuff, which causes heat to begin with. So you could have a problem with the actual coolant or antifreeze system. You could have an actual problem because that's where the hot water comes from that goes into your dash for the most part. Most heater cores are in your dash, and then you've got a blower motor that sits behind the evaporator core for your air conditioner and your heater core. And then it depends on which systems you're running at that time as to how that's working. And you've got different vents and it's pushing the air from one direction or another. And then it goes, down on your floor, up into your dash for your defroster to work. And most defrosters, actually, the air conditioner is working along with it. So your air conditioner is actually what's drying out the moisture in the air, and then the heater core is heating that air, and that's why the defroster works the way it does. And sometimes when your defroster is not working, that means your air conditioner is probably not working, or you've got a heater core that's leaking and it's dumping the radiator fluid mist up onto your windshield, which that's really difficult to see through. So if that's going on, then I mean that's why. So you could have your heater fan or air conditioning fan motor that's not working. If your heater's not working, you could have low coolant, because one of the first things that goes out of coolant is your heater core, because most of the time it's positioned above the motor a little bit, so it actually drains into the motor. And so if you got a coolant leak, the heater is going to be one of the first things that could, depending on the design, could tell you that you've got a coolant leak. So you could have a stuck thermostat that's opened. You could have, hoses and connections that are leaking. Could have, and this is where it starts to get fun. Most control panels and switches are electronically controlled nowadays and part of a computer system. So you think that you're turning on, you're hitting a button, but it's literally it's electronic. So everything's happening behind the scenes. So when you're switching stuff, used to there was actual cables that you were moving the valves and the doors open and closed on your heater and your air conditioning system. I mean, you were literally moving wires. Now you're moving a switch which sends an electrical impulse, which then moves the door, the vent door, that kind of thing. So it could be all kinds of electrical issues that's going on. Again, cars are so much more complex, it's not even funny. So, it could be a clogged heater core, could be, all kinds of stuff. I mean, the electrical issues are just astounding what's going on. So, I mean, what could you do? You could check your coolant levels. Never do it while it's running, and never do it while it's hot. Never open a coolant system up ever. You inspect the hoses and connections. Make sure you're not leaking anything. That you can just tighten up a clamp or something. Check your thermostat function, and you're going to listen for your blower motor to make noise or not. You can check fuses and relays, but you really, what you need to do is just find an automotive repair shop to take care of you. Find one you can trust the ones that you can, and don't go away. Don't go, oh my goodness, you're too expensive at this point, and Jim Bob down the street will do it cheaper. It's not good for you, not good for them. I mean, when it's all said and done, you're literally talking about there's so many things that go into keeping your vehicle running. Know that. I'm going to keep saying it. Any part of your car, you definitely need a technician, a mechanic near you that you can trust. So find one that you can trust and keep them in your back pocket. It's literally critical that you do so.